Well, Thanksgiving kicks off a season of gratitude. In today's Picks Parenting Plus, teaching teens how to practice gratefulness is all about the approach.
So we are joined this morning by parenting coach and psychologist, Dr. Cam Caswell, who will break it all down for us. Good morning, Dr. Cam. Great to have you on.
Good morning.
I need your help too. I've got a new teenager. She's 13. She's a good kid though. And not all kids are bad. Not all kids are suffering with this issue of not being grateful. But you are the teen translator. Can you help us understand why some teens struggle to express gratitude? I mean, is it selfishness or is it something else?
I think the concern is it comes across as selfishness. And what we have to remember is gratitude is actually a skill. It requires perspective, it requires some life experience. And also, it has to be very intentional because the human brain is in survival mode. That's what the brain is meant to do, right? So we immediately go to what is danger, what is scary. And to teens, what is scary is not fitting in, having other people have things that you don't have. So we're constantly comparing. So it's hard to be grateful automatically. It's something that we want to teach our kids. And the best way to do this is by modeling it to them. One of my favorite ways to model is to show them how we're grateful for them. We often try to get gratitude out of them and say, you need to be more grateful. You're being entitled. You don't get it. I had it so much worse when I was your age. They don't have that perspective, and that just makes them feel more defensive, which is the opposite of gratitude. Instead, I am so grateful that you helped, even if it was a little bit, right? I am so grateful that you're my kid. I'm so grateful you came home today and it's great to see you. When we start modeling what that looks like, they start modeling it back. They start seeing it. The other thing is ask them questions that are kind of bring up gratitude instead of how was your day, which is a horrible question to ask teens because typically it was not great. They were at school all day. Ask them things like, what is something kind someone did for you? Or what was a great moment today? I've asked teens, I work with teenagers, and I'll ask them questions about gratitude and they'll look at me like nobody's ever asked me that before, or I've never thought of that before. That's the whole point. They don't automatically think gratitude. Humans don't. So we want to train.
What about this phrase that parents tend to use? Look how lucky you are. Why does that often backfire with teens?
Oh, it will pretty much always backfire with teens because it invalidates their own experience. You know, we usually base that off of our experience, which they've not lived. So that's very unfair. We also kind of glamorize our past and how tough it was, you know, that we walked both uphill both ways to school type of thing.
I was going to say that.
Right? And so kids just feel like you don't get me. And again, that makes them defensive and it doesn't make them grateful for us. It makes them resentful to us. So instead, listen to their experiences and validate their experiences. You don't have to agree with it. You can think in your head, man, I had it so much easier. That's okay. It's their experience. It is valid to them. And then help them start thinking, well, what is one little good thing out of all that maybe you could have found, right? And start training them to see that. But as soon as you say you've got to be more grateful, or you're not grateful, that is going to undermine any lesson about gratitude.
Yeah, so don't demand it of them. Don't demand.
No, you can't.
Be grateful. All right.
That's right.
So how does gratitude, though, change the adolescent brain?
It changes all human brains. So when we train it to be grateful, because like I said, the human brain is made to look for danger, for threats. When we start training it to look for positive moments, for the good things, it rewires the brain. The more we practice this, and the beautiful part of the teen brain is it's in a growth spurt. So it is made to learn. So right now, if we start rewiring our teen's brain to look for things that it's grateful for, to look for things that it appreciates, that becomes hardwiring in their brain. And as adults, they're going to naturally see that. They're not going to have to work to see that. And when we see gratitude, it's very hard when we're grateful for things to be sad about things.
All right. So what are some simple conversational shifts that parents can use?
I mean, the first is telling them what you're grateful for with them. And it's not over the top. It's just, you know, pointing it out, sneaking into our conversations, things like, oh, what was really cool about that, or what did you appreciate about that, or what was fun about that, just the positive side of things rather than general. Don't do a ton, just drop it in. And the other really important thing that I love, and I've done with my daughter, I have a teen as well, is volunteering. I absolutely love volunteering with my daughter because it gives her more perspective of what's out there and what other lives are like. Because right now, they only compare themselves to who's around them. And that's who's at school and social media, and they're always looking for who has it better, because that's what we do. So go and volunteer. Not only does that give them more perspective, but man, it feels so good. Kids love having a purpose. They love giving back. And when you give them that opportunity, they'll really thrive in it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like even with my kids, when we walk through the city, they see situations that make them very grateful for what they have. And
they don't miss anything.
No, they don't. They don't.
Right.
But yeah, especially during the holiday season when they're watching, I mean, unfortunately, I'm always watching the news, but when they see stories where people are giving back to the community, it's something that they, you know, they take in and they make it a part of their own life. So I think that's
Dr.
really
Cam,
great
some great advice there. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And by the way, happy Thanksgiving.